I want to do something with everyone first. I'm going to ask you to play like just a modified version of Name That Tune. And so raise your hand when you get the tune that didn't work. All right.
I'm not too bad.
It's all right. It's all right. We're my bad. Had the extra time. I didn't think to make the most of it.
Was that it?
No, that wasn't it.
All right,
Sorry.
appreciate it. That's not it.
No, that's not it either. All right, we're not going to have it play that. So I'm going to hope that I have better luck with the rest of my presentation than this, than the start. It should have worked. It's supposed to be the 18. I'll just tell you what it was. Anybody know the tune to the 18?
Yes.
Could you have guessed it?
Yes.
All right, okay. So that was the whole idea of, I entitled this Being Weighed Down. This is my inquiry 1. And to give you a little bit
Hi,
of...
my name is Jay Hollis. I'm in SMED 360, and this is my Inquiry 1 research project, where I'm going to try to find out what is the maximum lift capacity of a mini RC helicopter.
To be honest, we spent all of our battery power and the good part of a couple hours just trying to get this part right. So our expectations were really high, and our execution of that is really low. The reason why, and to kind of, I'll hit on this a little bit through my presentation, is I like to try to find ways to make science a little bit more than just simply you sitting in a classroom and a teacher walking up to a board and just telling you that F equals mass times acceleration. That was my point. Why did I pick helicopters? Because I see these things fly around my head every time I'm trying to watch TV. Because it's in our living room. My son's got these for Christmas. We're trying to find one for my daughter, who we never thought would like one, but she wants one for her birthday, which is next week. So we were looking at these things, and so I just thought, hey, that might make a halfway decent project. So I come up with this idea that I was going to try to construct some kind of weight that I could attach to the helicopter, hit the throttle or the gas and see if it would lift it up, and then we would try to guess, because I want to make a statement about Mr. Nathan's project. I'm going to guess what I thought my height would be. And what I took was I had an old tape measure that got run, and so you can take scissors and cut off the section you want. And so I just like attached it to my wall. And we just put the helicopter in front of it, and we try to lift something, and by eyeball test, we rounded it to the nearest inch, and would then, make our calculations to the different heights. My hypothesis, which may not make a lot of sense, was that I thought that these little helicopters could raise about 80 grams. Does anybody know how I come up with such a wonderful number? Not a clue. Neither, nobody does. The only reason I know that is I've been looking to buy a helicopter for my daughter, and that's what they all, they'll say, oh, this one can raise, a pound. Why would you want a helicopter to raise a pound? It costs like $500. I want to spend like 30. So I just made a ratio. I thought, okay, I knew the rotor length of these high-end helicopters and what they said they could raise, and then I knew what mine was, and so I just made a ratio and thought, hey, that would work. That would make a good guess. And so if I made that guess, you might have just a linear relationship that as you, the bottom is mass in kilograms, as you increase mass, it should just, okay, I increase my mass, the helicopter can only go so high, only go so high, just right across, I thought that that's what I would see, but it's not. But let me talk about my motivation for just a few moments. What made this fun was playing with helicopters, and I did not have to make my kids help me. They all volunteered. They saw me doing something, they knew it was for a class, and they wanted to be involved. So there was definitely that fun factor. The other thing that's kind of been drilled in my head for at least one semester, and part of this one, is connecting technology to the classroom. But that technology doesn't always have to be a $600 iPad. It could be a $30 helicopter. Anything that gets kids away from the blackboard and allows them to do something, and then it provides a memorable class experience. These are my boys. You see the smile on his face? He had fun. He had fun helping. And all he got to do was huddle down out of the shot of the camera and try to run as soon as the helicopter stopped. He's going to run up there and try to put his finger where he thought the height was. Now that tells you how accurate my experiment is. That's the extent of it. I'm not going to claim that this is going to be anything great. I did not do experiment 1, experiment 2, and then videotape all of it. I do have just a few clips of, all right, back it up. I do have a few clips, and it's looking for it. That's the problem. All right, never mind. Doesn't matter. That's the nice thing about putting technology in the classroom. It isn't always going to work, so, all right. Anybody have an idea how you get this to start where you want it to?
There you go.
Did I just go to here? All right, from here far out, this is what we're going to do, okay? I'm not a PowerPoint guru. All right, what it would have been is you would have seen the helicopter come up, come down. That's basically what we did. We shot. I thought we had a lot of data because when I downloaded the data to my laptop, it was like 47 minutes. I had a 30-second clip of the best highlights because, things happen. It just doesn't always work the way you want. One of the things we learned is you can't just put a helicopter here with weight on it and go up, because the weight's going to shift, it's going to skew the helicopter left or right. So we started holding it to steady it until our RPMs got up real high, and then we'd let go, and then we'd measure it that way. Let me show you my data.
Can you click on the film on the desktop and show us over
I don't know if it's there. It's on my laptop, which is right over there, but
So if you double click that, it won't?
I don't think I grabbed it.
Okay.
You'll see it in another clip of what went wrong, so you can kind of get an idea. It's bad that I have to do that way. So here's my data, and basically just I didn't really measure in kilograms or meters. The only reason I went to kilograms and meters is that's where you find like these force equals MA type equations. That's the data a student would see in class. So I measured in inches and used 2.54 centimeters equals an inch, did a conversion, and then converted that to meters. The same way in the weight. You can buy fishing sinkers in increments of ounces, like 1/4 of an ounce, 1/8 of an ounce, 1/16 of an ounce. And so I just that was my standard on how I measured my weight and my height. And what we found was the max weight that we could get the helicopter to use would be 20 grams or 0.02 kilograms. It would just barely get about an inch off the floor and then immediately come right back down. The lower weights, we wouldn't see a ceiling to it. I mean, it would go up and touch the ceiling actually. So this was actually the first data point I used because I had a measurement for the height. And that's, I think, in my understanding with this experiment, my dependent variable would have been how I'm changing these weights, and the independent variable was measuring the heights. And so that's what we tried to do the best we could. And we had a graph that kind of looked like this. And I want to thank Mr. Allman about, kind of helping me understand, okay, where to approach the analysis of the data. Would everybody agree this is not a linear relationship? Right. I thought it would be linear. The more weight you add, and it would just step down the way right across. It didn't work that way. So not only is my hypothesis wrong about how much weight could actually be lifted, I thought, 80 grams and it was 20. The relationship wasn't correct either. We saw this kind of relationship where it was an exponential decay. Now, am I 100% confident that that's the case? No. Because again, we're eyeballing a tape measure that's stapled to my wall, and an 11-year-old's going over and putting his finger where he thought it was. But I think for our 4 lifts, I think we were kind of in that same ballpark, so there is some confidence in that. Now, on Monday, when we were talking about our projects around the classroom, Joe Dan brought up a very good observation about what's your fall off. It's a rechargeable helicopter. The more work you do, it should go down. And so I actually did that experiment. Thanks for the idea. And this is what I found. I used the same weight on a full charge. And I can go back and show you my top 2 weights fit in with my graph of the data I collected. But then the 3rd lift, the 4th lift, the 5th lift, the 6th lift, just barely, there's the fall off. And that's what we try to do. We try to use that 1st and 2nd data of what we were collecting, because that probably had the most consistent results. And so we didn't use any of this data here. So what did I learn from this? I learned a little bit about math and plotting some lines and learning how to use Excel. I learned some things that you cannot do, that don't work, and that's probably, you'll get more out of this. Instead of just buying one helicopter for my daughter, I think I have to replace all the ones that we've been using. No, we had a lot of fun. And I hope that is part of what everybody can see here, the possible applications. For a high school class, how many kids take physics, or a math class, even the math applications. I think there's some definite applications to the classroom setting, and it's a low investment, and they're maintainable. I have rebuilt one of these already, replacing rotors and gears. The motors can be bought, batteries can be replaced, so there is a little maintenance there, but that's kind of where we're at, and that's what we kind of learned. So in my conclusions, I don't know that I really proved what I thought I was finding, but I did learn that about this exponential decay as you add weight to these little electric motors and how much they can lift. I also learned a little bit about how they calculate lift. Never understood that there were lift coefficients, and air pressure makes a big deal, and temperature makes a big deal, and the area, you know, there's a lot of math that can be used in there, and it would be a lot of fun for a class that might want to do it, get you away from the board and so forth. So before I close, I got one little, it's like 18 seconds. This is just to say thank you to my kids because they're going to watch it tonight. This is my son Dylan. He flew all the helicopter missions for me. That's my daughter Dina, who likes getting in front of the camera as well as be behind it. It's my other son Noah. He helped set everything up. And Chan, she was just there. I tried to give her an official title, but you know, she's not really, do not ask her to charge anything for you because she gets easily sidetracked. So, are there any questions?
Is Chan the neighbor girl?
No, they're all mine.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, the way you made it, sorry, you made it sound like she was some other kid that just fluttered in.
She kind of is. She was just this little kid. We woke up one day and we got her. No, my girls are adopted, so. Any other questions? Sorry about that. I can show you the video.